Well, good day there, traders right around the world. Thank you so much for joining me on this Monday afternoon market recap. Now, overall, across all three of the US markets, we didn't really see too much in the way of overall directional movement. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed up only 12 points during today's session. The S&P again was down actually close to 3 points, and the Nasdaq was up 2.5 points. Overall, in the grand scheme of things, we're still running into this very strong overhead resistance, and we're starting to see what could potentially be a little bit of a slowdown, or at least a little bit of a sideways movement for the rest of the week. Now, what is interesting about this is that although the two markets, or the three markets, pardon me, didn't make too much in the way of directional movement, two stocks which we spoke about over the weekend confirmed and, of course, move in our direction today. Those two stocks are Tesla Motors and HAL. They are what I'm really going to focus on and recap today. It was really an incredible way to start the trading week. Last week, we were very patient, very disciplined in the way of overall trade setups and what we wanted to get involved in, or at least sit on the sidelines with, as we let the market reset. As you can see today, we had an entry on Tesla, which I gave traders and students over the weekend. About $227 was the entry, with a target of about $220. As at Monday afternoon, this has been an incredible trade. You can see that the one particular candlestick anyway has absolutely broken down. Look at the volume. Volume is what we've really been focusing on really for the past 2 weeks, and what the market is sort of displaying in the way of a lack of volume to the bullish side. This was really a perfect trade setup. Again, congratulations students on placing this trade. I'd be exiting my positions around $219.91. That is the original target. Earnings is coming up in about a week's time, so that's a really good way, at least on a Monday, to get the market, or at least trading week, moving in our favor. Now, the second trade, of course, was HAL. Very, very similar trade. We're trading the bounce, or at least the pullback. Well, get out of this. The pullback back down to support off the most recent bounce. Now, HAL again, you can see the trade entry here. 53.56 was the swing trade. Have a look at the volume creeping back into HAL on the sell side. This is what makes this trade very, very good. Right now, we're trading at $52.39. So we've already made about $1.20 of intrinsic value into those original put options, which is really, really good. Two targets. $50.59 and also $48.59 on the bearish side. Now, to move further into some additional analysis, Apple continues to sort of struggle high. You know my thoughts on Apple. I made that very clear to you over the weekend. So please, 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 if you are on this on the bullish side at 104.18, just tighten your stops. This is another profitable trade, which is still moving in the direction. However, I'm a little bit skeptical on this most recent bullish breakout. Amazon, no real movement there. You know my thoughts on that trade. That is definitely a viable trade moving throughout this week. Baidu's still in no man's land moving into earnings. You can see Caterpillar very, very close to triggering on that gap-filled bearish trade. So please pay attention to Caterpillar. Not really the ideal volume which we want to see, but it's definitely starting to get that net movement. Now, Disney, again, a little bit of a doji candlestick, not a whole lot in the way of overall directional movement. That's all well and good. FAS moving back into that resistance level. This is the location, pardon me, where if we are going to see a rollover, this is where it is going to occur on FAS. So please stay posted for some confirmation in the way of candlestick patterns. Facebook closed down 39 cents today, moving into earnings. No real directional movement there. Google again, giving us a little bit of a wedge pattern. This is quite interesting at the moment. It's still not tradable on the bullish side in my opinion. We still have a lot of overhead resistance to come. But if we start breaking down like we did in Tesla, you can see the bullish and bearish entries, the bearish entries and targets on Google, which I am tracking. I've spoken about how that was a decent trade. Netflix starting to roll over down about $6 today, right on that resistance level. You can see that resistance level about $382. Funny that when I draw this on, that we start to see these pivot points, these turning points start to occur right at that exact location. This, of course, is going back to April 2014, where we ran into it very, very quickly as resistance and we got a very quick failure. Starbucks today was up about 16 cents, really coming close to that 76, 71 trade trigger. However, we do have earnings coming out, I do believe, on Thursday, so please take that off the table. Tesla, I've addressed. That was an incredible trade, up about $7 or $8 of intrinsic value. And to conclude with, ladies and gentlemen, Twitter. I don't know why I haven't touched on this earlier. Most recently, or after market close, I've checked obviously the price of Twitter. It is trading down, I think, about 10 or 11%, maybe even more. We are set to open down here at about $42.50 at the moment, or it might be $43.50. Now, pay attention to what I have to say, because I said I'd update you on Twitter when, of course, earnings came out. This gap, which you can see here, is key. This is so important for Twitter. If we get a close below this gap, All right, if we get a close below roughly $42, the next target on Twitter is down here at about $38. So that's a $4 move on a 38 or on a $40 stock. That's about 10% equity price in Twitter, which could potentially be written off in a day or two. So if there is a trade outside of HAL, outside of Tesla, which we've gone through over the weekend, outside of Amazon, which also looks incredibly good, outside of Netflix and FAS, which could be potentially rolling over, Caterpillar also, Twitter is definitely on my radar as at Tuesday afternoon market close. I do expect this, of course, to gap down. It looks as if it's going to open about $42, somewhere in this vicinity at the bottom of this gap window. But this gap, again, just to go over this one more time, is really everything for directional price for next week. If this gap fails to hold, if we fail to hold this gap, the open window, look out below, look out $38 on Twitter. It's going to be a fast ride down to $38. So please pay close attention to this trade setup, which is progressing and moving in our direction anyway on Twitter. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this analysis video. Share it with a friend, give it a like, give me, of course, feedback and advice on how I can do things better for you or better help serve you. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fantastic trading week so far. It's only Monday, of course, but those trades have really got us going for the week. All the best, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.